Hello, this is Brian. Today is Sunday, December 19th, 2021. I'm in San Clemente Canyon in San Diego. This weekend I didn't really have any hikes going because I went with my father to his job's Christmas party in La Jolla. So that's why I didn't have any real hikes planned, but since we're in the San Diego area, I decided to stop off in San Clemente Canyon. I'm just going to do maybe a couple of short videos. But, yep, absolutely beautiful morning here. Here we are. Here's a local endemic for us. Palmer sagewort, Artemisia palmeri. It's related to the California sagebrush, Artemisia Californica, that is very prevalent here in Southern California. Just taking a short little stroll, get some fresh air, and just enjoying a few of the last sets of fall leaves that we have left over with these Platanus racemosa, California sycamore. That rain that we had really dampened the soil here, so the grasses are greening up. San Clemente Creek is starting to flow a little bit better. Beautiful old sycamore trees. Knew these trees growing up as a kid. I used to come here a lot. I mean a lot when I was a kid. So this place always brought back extremely special memories for me. One thing though, a lot of these coast live oaks have died over the last several years, especially the ones that are more on the hillsides. The ones down in the canyon, like deeper down in the canyon, seem to be faring better because they have a little more access to moisture, but the ones on the hillsides have really taken a turn for the worse, fortunately. But still, after all these times, this area remains as the breeding ground for my love for nature. Love for nature started basically in these canyons here in San Diego. Look at that beautiful water just flowing in the... It's just so peaceful over here. So yeah, hear a lot of traffic noise here. That's normal. It's pretty normal. It's right next to the junction of Genesee Avenue and California 52. One thing you gotta look out for in this canyon, and there is a lot of it, it's poison oak. That's one thing about this canyon. The plant is everywhere. These little twigs right here, it's poison oak. Yeah, it's good to know what it looks like when it's leafless. But if you're not really too sure, just avoid brushing up during this time of year. Just try to avoid brushing up against any leafless branches. That's really cool. It's a little frost on the ground. Some temperatures last night must have got down to the upper 30s. Yeah, some of these old oaks are Some of these oaks are really not doing so well, but the sycamores seem to be doing just fine. Yeah, the oaks that are closer to the canyon bottom, like here, seem to be doing a lot better, thankfully. But yeah, one thing about this canyon, stay on the trail, because all these little twigs, these are all dormant poison oak twigs, so just make sure you keep your butt on the trail. It's everywhere over here. I mean everywhere. But it looks like with all the dying oaks and everything, what the heck is this? Oh, it looks like an what? Oh, it looks like an evergreen flowering pear got established down here. This looks like Paris Kawakami. Those ornamental pears that are semi-evergreen. They retain most of their leaves during the winter, but then sometimes some of the leaves will turn yellow and red and orange and fall off and look really festive. I have never seen one of these establish. Never seen one of these establish. Yeah, it says Paris Kawakami. It's an ornamental flowering pear that usually erupts into bloom around Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's like semi-evergreen. Loses maybe about anywhere from a few to 3/4 of its leaves, and all of a sudden there's one established down here. Sometimes you never know what you'll find establishing down in these canyons unless you really take a look. And we got our Arroyo Willow here, Salix lanceolipus, very native. Down here in the low elevations, it tends to be semi-evergreen or semi-deciduous as opposed to fully deciduous. The ones down here in the lowlands tend to only lose a certain amount of their leaves, and then by January or February, the flowers already start coming out on them. Higher elevations, obviously, they're more strictly deciduous. And then we got red willow, Salix laevigata. Got a nice size one down here. But that's cool. There's an ornamental flowering pear down here that got established somehow. I've never seen seedlings or saplings of those before, besides ones that people buy from the nursery and plant. So that's pretty cool. And of course, another non-native plant established down here quite frequently. Brazilian pepper tree, Scinis terebinthifolius, and chamelash, Fraxinus udi. So, chamelash is a very common, very common plant to establish here in these canyons. Just gotta watch my step. There we go. Yeah, these trees with the gray trunks, pretty fast-growing trees. I remember when I was a kid, after I'd moved from San Diego to Anaheim, I remember digging up seedlings of these, you know, in places where they're just going to get mowed over by lawnmowers and stuff. And I remember planting one on the side of the house where I lived on Dale Street in Anaheim, and it grew fast. These ash trees can be very fast growing. Fraxinus udi, called chamel ash. Sometimes they call it evergreen ash. I believe it's native to Mexico and Central America somewhere. And they look like your regular ash trees, only their habits are very different with respect to being evergreen or deciduous. Some of them stay mostly evergreen, some of them shed a few of their leaves, and then some of them will shed all their leaves really fast. for a period, usually late fall to early winter, and then with the chamois ash, new flowers will appear within anywhere from days to a couple weeks. So their deciduous period is very short, so they're not out of leaf. The ones that go fully leafless are not out of leaf for very long. Sometimes even before New Year's, they'll still get new leaves on them already. It's a pretty common tree in the cityscape, so being within the city limits, near a lot of suburban areas and a lot of houses up there on the hill, these plants will establish. They like to establish in these riparian areas because they like to have some access to water. So you can expect them to pop up quite a bit here. And this acacia right here, I forget what type of acacia, they call it wattle. Forget what species this is. I used to know. I had one in my yard in Anaheim when I was a teenager. And those sometimes will get established down here as well. A lot of times those are planted as freeway landscape plants, and then sometimes they escape, like here, they'll escape here into the canyons. But yeah, I know a lot of these sycamores died back years ago. A lot of these California sycamores. However, you can tell that they resprouted. They've resprouted and reestablished, which is always really good. And here is our coastal California buckwheat, Ariogonum fasciculatum, variety fasciculatum. A dime a dozen plant here in San Diego. And of course, I was mentioning about Palmer sagewort, Artemisia palmeri. Here's Artemisia Californica, and it's getting its first set of new leaves. And boy, do they smell great. This is one of the best smelling plants, in my opinion, that I've ever smelled. One of the best smelling plants ever. Just smells so great. And here's telegraph aster. Did a spotlight video on this back in late September in the Santa Ana Mountains, Orange County. Heteroteca grandiflora. And here's one of those plants they call ice plant or sea fig. This is a species of Carpobrotus. Don't know the specific epithet of it. We have a couple. I know there's Chiloensis, I think Chilensis, and there's another species at least. And then, here we are. Here we are. Beautiful, beautiful golden bush. I filmed these back in September. They were nearly in full bloom. Absolutely beautiful. Look at them. They can get quite tall. And this one still has a few flowers on it. Did a spotlight video on this one. Isocoma menziesii, and this should be variety menziesii. This is the Isocoma menziesii, variety menziesii. Still has a few flowers on it. Should I say flower heads? This is a nice tall one. This is even taller than me. This is probably about 6.5 feet tall. So they start out as very herbaceous, and then they turn woody at the base. And again, here's Artemisia palmeri, beautiful Palmer sagewort. Also has an aromatic leaf like Artemisia Californica. Kind of similar, not exactly the same, obviously. And it looks like it's woken from its summer sleep period. It gets so dry. And buckwheats are starting to come to life. Some of these are old growth buckwheats too. You can tell by these stems in here. Some of these buckwheats have been around for a very, very long time. So it's kind of neat, actually. A little toyon sapling right here. We're about to go under the Genesee Bridge very soon. So yeah. See, just a 15-minute walk. You can find a lot of really cool little native plant treasures and some non-native plant treasures. You just take the time to ramble in the canyons. So we'll go under this bridge here. Just watch out. This footing here is pretty stable as opposed, with respect to, this isn't loose, but it's kind of rocky, so just watch where you step. I kind of want to do a spotlight video, but maybe another time. This is my father drove. He said, "Go ahead and take a 20-minute walk." So I'm taking that little walk right now, but start heading back, and so he doesn't have to sit around and wait for me to record like 2 hours worth of video footage like I usually do on my trips. I'm right at the Genesee parking lot, Genesee staging area here at Marian R. Bear Memorial Natural Park in between University City and Clairemont Neighborhoods of San Diego. Again, watch out for this guy, Western Poison Oak. Takes on a vine form, also takes on a shrub form. Thanks for watching my video. Hopefully I'll get to shoot some more videos later on in some other areas before we head back. Thanks for watching.